Kathy Kress again, and I'm back with my new YouTube channel, Geriatric, about geriatric care management. And it's based on my new operations manual for geriatric care management, my geriatric care management operations manual, which is available right now on my website, kathykress.com, and it's a soup to nuts description in paper, not a book, doesn't look like a book. It's an operations manual, so that you can run a geriatric care management agency. And I'm working with many people all over the country right now, both big agencies, big nonprofits, big for-profits, to smaller entities, to implement a geriatric care management practice through this. It has all the forms that you need that are integrated with all the services, so that you don't have to think, what form do I need now, and 11 different services, which are, to me, products, because you're selling a product when you're selling geriatric care management, because you are selling geriatric care management. So let's go back. We're doing a psychosocial assessment. We're doing it with this 85-year-old gentleman. We are out at his home. We got called. You are Miss Full-Charge, the geriatric care manager. You were called by his sister, a 79-year-old woman who lives in New York. She just knew that he fell and he didn't come to the family reunion. We have now found out that his wife of 60 years died. He indeed fell by the swimming pool. He's had more falls. And we found out his history, the first part of the psychosocial assessment. Now we're going to do the second part, which is the depression assessment. And, well, he was just recently widowed. He'd been married to his high school sweetheart for 60 years. So, what about depression? 18% of suicides happen in the general population. But most suicides really happen with older people. Now that's a startling statistic. Why? Because older people are really reluctant to share their problems. They, lots of times they're not talked to. But older people have a lot of depression because it's hard to be old. We're not very accepting of aging in our society, where many other societies are very accepting. And when you lose your friends, or certainly your spouse, as this guy has, I mean, there's room for major depression there. And so Mary Russell, who is the detective, she's going to do a test. And remember, doctors do tests. So her test in her psychosocial assessment is going to be a depression assessment, and she does one. And usually people do a GDS, which is a geriatric depression scale. It's pretty common. It has 30 questions, and if you answer 10 negatively, you suspect depression. He answers 15, so he's really depressed. But he's been married for 60 years, and his wife died 6 months ago. Anxiety, you're going to do a test for that, just like the blood pressure, just like the blood test. And worry is, one of the greatest problems of older people. Because what are they worried about? They're worried about their imminent death. I mean, we all face that. When you're young, you never think about it. But he's just had his wife die, so, I mean, that makes him face his own death. And what are the symptoms of anxiety? Fear, dread, rapid heartbeat, sweaty palms. We've all had that. We've all had anxiety attacks at some point or another. Usually the test that's used is a Beck anxiety scale, but you can use many different tests to do this. So Mary Russell, who is really, Miss Full-Charge, our geriatric care manager, uses a Beck anxiety scale, and he scores 36, which is severe anxiety. Well, of course, he's living in this house by himself. He's had some falls. His wife died of 60 years. He only has one son. We've got to find out more about the son here. And so now what the geriatric care manager is going to do is the third section of a psychosocial assessment, and she's going to find out about his cognitive ability, our older Lebanese gentleman. And so the next part is going to be about his cognitive ability, and we are going through rapid fire because I've got to do this in 3 minutes, and we already may have run over that. If you want to know more about me, go to my website, kathykress.com. You can find out more about my new operations manual and all of my books, and I will see you next time.